Good evening, please, and welcome to XTV News broadcast for Monday, November 18th, 2024. Making the headlines tonight, Sarah is gone, but flooding is still a major concern. 2 suspects detained following Corozal Free Zone burglary, and Gulf Resettlement Day festivities still on across the country. We take our first break and return with the news in detail.
A rat said you.
Welcome back. Sarah made landfall as a tropical storm just before 9 on Sunday morning in Dangriga, Stan Creek. The all clear was given by NEMA hours later at noon at the recommendation of Prime Minister Honorable John Briceño. On Sunday, Chief Meteorologist Ronald Gordon said that the weather would clear quickly once Sarah had passed and said that we are to expect a cold front this week.
As Sarah moves away and dissipates, we expect a return to fair conditions by tomorrow, and that will persist through the holiday on Tuesday. Thereafter, an approaching cold front will support some showers on Wednesday, and that front will cross us late on Thursday. And after it crosses, we return to fair weather once more.
Sarah may have gone, but flooding is still a major concern for various parts of the country. Principal hydrologist Neil Hendy spoke of the rivers and waterways that could experience flood conditions.
We're seeing the flood warning remaining in effect for the usual areas, the Rio Hondo, the Mopan, Sibun River, Mopan, Makal, Belize River, but we have added now the severe for Sibun and City River, Bladen, and Swayze. Severe flood warning remains in effect for the Belize River watershed. Before we just said for the Makal River and its tributaries, but now that is being extended to the entire watershed, and our landslide warning remains in effect.
In terms of damages to the roads, Chief Engineer Evandale Moody said it was too early to tell what the total cost in damages to the road network would be. He did give a summary of the parts of the road network which are either closed or impassable.
If we start in the Cayo district, I decided to close the section of the George Price Highway in the Sokots village this morning because of the floodwaters, as I mentioned, on the Mopan. And so residents of Benkevejo are now using the bypass behind Sokots village to join again onto the George Price Highway. The low-lying bridge structure in San Ignacio is closed because that is still inundated by floodwaters from the Makal. The access to Bullet Tree, where the Salvador Fernandez Bridge is also closed because of the effects of the rising floodwaters there. We also have closed the Iguana Creek Bridge because that is also inundated. The ferry at Bacon Pot is also closed. And we have a section of the Cala Creek Road in the Cayo district that is also closed. We had closed yesterday the Bermuda Landing Bridge in the Belize district because there was a sinkhole that had developed on one lane of that bridge structure. But we have mobilized our team this morning and they have completed that already. And so that bridge is now open to traffic.
The Prime Minister took a tour of affected areas today. When asked about assistance given to those affected, he said that a full assessment needs to be conducted first.
Well, we have to do an assessment right now. The people at NEMO, they have their teams out making the assessment. Some areas are still not possible to be able to have a first-hand look. And we will do as best as we possibly can to help our farmers to get back on their feet. And in the homes where we can help, again, with the limited resources that we have, we're going to try to do as best as we possibly can, because now we have to be opening up drains. We have to be putting bigger culverts. We have to be redoing a lot of village streets, farm roads, the highways that they're breaking up because of the excessive rains. What made Tropical Storm Sarah more destructive was because it had been raining for several weeks, constantly, heavy rains. So everywhere the ground is lodged with a lot of water. So whatever you have rains, you can't suck it up. It's already full. So that is creating these floods, and the rivers obviously can't take all that water. Another issue, agriculture, as we go on clearing up larger areas of land, knocking down the trees and all the grass. All of that used to hold back the water. But now that that's cleared out, so the water is flowing faster into the river, and then the river gets overflowed even quicker, and then into the villages, into people's homes. You could see the same thing has happened in San Ignacio and Santa Elena.
Meanwhile, the Alliance for Democracy faction of the UDP issued a press release today calling for the government to conduct an immediate assessment of affected areas and to provide immediate assistance to those affected. The release laments that the agriculture sector has already had difficulties, and with this latest setback, the price of food items may further increase. The release urged that assistance be given quickly due to the approaching holidays, which could be impacted. The Cayo district, specifically in San Ignacio, Santa Elena, and Benquevejo del Carmen, is experiencing flood situations currently, and over the weekend, water levels rose pretty quickly. Principal hydrologist Tennille Hendis said that for San Ignacio and Santa Elena, the flood conditions over the weekend were approaching historical levels.
What we are seeing with San Ignacio is that the levels are approaching historical Mitch levels and near to Eta Iota levels that were previously recorded in 2020. The dams continue to spill, and these remain above the spillway. And as Chief Met indicated, we are still expecting some more rainfall across the country, but specifically in that area. What they can expect is to continue to see increasing floodwaters. How high it will get, unfortunately, at this point, I am not able to say that.
Earlier today, Mayor of San Ignacio and Santa Elena, Earl Trapp Jr., told Creme News XTV that fortunately the floodwaters have begun to recede and that he expects the cleanup to begin shortly.
At this moment, we are dealing with cleaning and restoration. We cannot fully, we are cleaning Welcome Center, the downtown area and the market, but we cannot do a full cleaning because of the fact that water, the market is still partially inundated. So until that is clear, then we will be able to clean. But since the sediment, the buildup of the sediment is still soft, this is the opportune time to begin to wash and clean the area. The water is not rising, it's receding. As a matter of fact, here in San Ignacio, where the water is rising, that's the Mopan River. The Mopan River is rising, and that in turn has a domino effect on the Macal River, since that's pushing down, and the Macal River is basically meeting it at almost a 90-degree, almost a 90-degree, or I would say perpendicular. It's basically it's not pushing this water, so this water will take much more time to recede, since the current is very heavy coming from the Mopan River. We might probably have a little more runoffs from the mountains, but I don't think it should have much of a big impact in terms of the water rising here.
Mayor Trapp said his council will work in collaboration with central government to get things back to normal. He said some private homes were affected and some residents had to evacuate. The council will soon share information on how assistance can be given to those affected.
Well, not many, but enough people were inconvenienced, and of course, especially in the villages, or here in San Ignacio, we had a couple of people that had to be relocated or that were inconvenienced by the waters. We still continue to, at this time, the council, and I've already called upon the support from MIDH to help the different areas that were severely affected, areas where culverts were washed away, a couple of culverts were washed away, and areas where we had erosion, and so everything. There's a lot of work here within our municipality. So I've called on the 3 area representatives to join forces with the council and see how we can collectively collaborate and get the lives of our people here back to normalcy. My aide working on a press release that will go out to the general public in terms of where they can drop off items in support of the victims and people that were relocated because of the of water gushing through their homes. I know of some businesses as well that had to interrupt their activities because of the water pushing through their kitchen. So it's been rough.
To Twin Town residents who require assistance, the mayor assured that it's coming and asked residents to be patient.
And for the residents within this municipality that have been calling for support, maybe to clear drains, to clear culverts, to divert water from where they are being affected, and I want to appeal to them to, yes, the storm is gone, but kindly send me your information via WhatsApp, and I will be compiling those and address them one by one because the area is so big, it's so widespread. We cannot do it in one overnight. It will take some time. So we have many of our streets that were damaged over the past, I think, 7 weeks because of the torrential rain that have come and passed through San Ignacio, Santa Elena. But again, like I said, we'll be working along with our counterparts and see how we can quickly get our streets, our drains, and our lives back to normal.
In terms of Belize City, which had been experiencing flood conditions since Friday, Principal Hydrologist Daniel Hendy cautions city residents and residents in flood-prone areas of the Belize district that they could expect flood conditions for the next 3 to 4 days as flood waters make their way through the region.
Belize City, again, within the 3 to 4 day period, we have a lot of complexities with the Belize City area because we have both of the rivers being flooded. That Belize City 8 miles western mile, 8 Mile community serves as a drainage point. When one river system overflows, the other one basically absorbs and discharges the waters, but now we have 2 of them being flooded more or less at the same time. So what we can expect coming down into the Belize City area is that the 8 Mile community may see some flooding into Belize City. The normal areas that that experience flooding would expect to receive those floodwaters. In terms of the depth, as I know is the question most persons would like to know, we are unable to say that at this time because there are other areas that this water drains out to. We have the Crooked Tree Lagoon that serves as a retention point, and it's hydraulically connected via some wetlands to the New River system. So all of these systems sort of help each other out when drainage of floodwaters, but the normal areas should expect flooding in the next coming 3 to 4 days.
On Sunday, police were notified of a burglary within the Carousel Free Zone. With the use of drones, the police were able to locate 2 individuals suspected of being involved with the incident. Both individuals detained are from Belize City. One of the individuals is employed as a security guard at the targeted establishment. Police also found a bag in the area containing Belizean, Mexican, and U.S. currency, totaling some U.S. $200,000. The total amount of money stolen is not yet known. Earlier today, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams gave the media an update.
The Carousel police mobilized and went to the area. They conducted searches utilizing drones, and they were able to locate 2 individuals who are suspected to have been a part of that burglary. Police also found a bag containing some pesos, Mexican pesos, along with a few Belize dollars and a few U.S. currency. The bag of money was taken to the Carousel police station where it was counted, and it amounted to 4-point-something million pesos. I think just over 200 US, 200 plus US dollars, and a small amount of Belize currency. The two individuals are currently detained. I'm not aware of the total amount of monies stolen during the burglary. I think we're still trying to ascertain that figure. But so far, we believe we have two of the suspects in custody. We're still looking for an additional two more persons. From what we gathered again is that they did so in collusion with the security guard who worked at the establishment. So that security guard is also in custody as a part of our investigation.
After the break, police officers were simply following NEMA's directives to close shops while Sarah approached the country.
Merry little Christmas. Christmas is for giving.
Welcome back. A plane was discovered by a farmer near Franks Eddy, Cayo on Friday morning around 9. Police believe the plane landed sometime after midnight. Police have found lights they believe helped with the landing, but have not been able to find the cargo, but suspect it may have been cocaine. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams told the media this morning they suspect the cargo may have been transported via the nearby Seboon River. Police are seeking one individual and suspect a female police officer may have facilitated the pilot, but may not have been involved with the actual landing. Williams explained.
We are looking for one individual, likewise, who we believe may be able to provide some information to us as it relates to that plane landing. And I can also say to you, I don't want to hide nothing, say to you that we had detained a police officer, a female police officer, because we believe that she facilitated a person, the person who we believe landed that aircraft, in signing in at the police station outside the hours stipulated by the court. This person is on bail for a previous plane landing, and as a condition to his bail, he was ordered to report or to sign in to the Belmapan police station every Friday between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Surprisingly, the same night the plane landed, he came to sign in at the Belmapan police station after 12 midnight. That would be around the same time the plane would be landing. And this female police officer facilitated him to the extent that she took the diary from inside the station and took it outside of the station for him to sign. That for us is an egregious breach. I'm not going to say that she is involved in the plane landing, but her actions in facilitating this individual, knowing who he is, to have signed in at that particular moment is extremely questionable. And so Professional Standard Branch is looking at that matter, and we expect that charges will be levied against her for breach of our internal policies.
Williams explained that JAC, the Joint Operations and Intelligence Center, was unable to provide tracking of the aircraft that night and said the matter is being investigated. Williams also explained that the new policy is to destroy suspected drug planes.
That's a matter that we're looking at. JAC would be in a better position to explain why they were unable to provide to us any tracking on that particular night in question. As you would know, we're not the ones who work or manages JAC. We would normally be fed with information coming out of JAC as it relates to the illicit tracking, and then once we get those informations, then we would then activate our operational teams to go into different areas that we would anticipate the plane may likely land. But in this case, that did not occur. Instead of putting these planes out for action and sold to the highest bidder, it's a policy now that we destroy them so as not to have these planes reused. We have seen instances before where the planes were auctioned off, and then next thing we know, the planes end up right back in Belize again with another set of cargo. So to eliminate that from happening, these aircraft are now destroyed on spot.
There were many complaints on Sunday from the public due to shops and stores being forced to close by police officers. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams said his officers were only following directives from NEMO. Williams also defended NEMO's decision, saying it was a matter of safety.
And in terms of a directive coming out of NEMO to close down businesses, again, the police had to enforce that. And I don't think that we had much pushback. I think for the most part, Belizeans were compliant. Many of them did not open, and the few that opened, when the police go to them and tell them to close, they close down without any issue. And so we're also thankful to the Belizean people for adhering to the instructions as they came out of NEMO. At the end of the day, when we do have these natural disasters, and in particular these storms, it requires the support of everybody. the police, the public, and the other entities that works along with NEMO, coming together to make sure that we can achieve our objectives. At the end of the day, NEMO's objective is to make sure that we go through the storm without any casualties and without any, with minimal damage to property. And I think that the efforts that we put out in this during this storm paid off, and we are happy to report that there were no casualties. And again, in terms of damages, well, you know, the floods are out there.
Williams also thanked all the security forces personnel who worked during the storm.
They were adhering to instructions as the advices were coming out of NEMO. And other than that, they were also doing their day-to-day policing work in conducting patrols in the various hotspots, the different business areas, all with a view to ensure that they minimize the amount of criminality that may occur, as you would know that criminals tend to take advantage of these natural disasters to be able to commit their crimes. And so the police have had to look at tropical storm duties as well as the ordinary policing duties. And as much as we had floodings in almost every part of the country, our officers did not use flooding as an excuse not to come to work. They showed up with their raincoats, their rubber boots, and they were willing and ready to deliver for the Belizean people. And so I want to, on behalf of myself and the minister, extend a heartfelt thank you to the men and women of the Belize Police Department, as well as the Coast Guard and BDF who worked alongside us during the storm watch.
Kikaga police are investigating a report of abduction by a woman in San Pedro. She told police that her ex-husband broke into her residence and attacked her and her roommate. He then forced her on a jet ski and took her to Kikaga, where she eventually escaped. ACP Gilberto Romero told the media that they are still looking for the ex-husband.
Kikaga police responded to a report at the Kikaga Polyclinic, where upon their arrival they found Sabrina Brakeman with several injuries. She reported that she was in San Pedro inside her bedroom when she was attacked by her ex-husband, Kenny Brakeman, who broke down the door and hit her on a roommate with a piece of stick. Brakeman then placed her on a jet ski and headed towards Kikaga. Somewhere near Kikaga, she managed to jump in the water and she went to seek help. An investigation was carried out. She was then transported to the KHMH for treatment, where she remains in a stable condition. We are still looking for Kenneth Brakeman, as he has not been found.
There was a fatal traffic accident in Cotton Tree, Hyde, on Friday evening at around 6:30. Reports are that Paul Thompson, government CEO, was traveling in his SUV, and on reaching near King's Children's Home, he knocked down a man who was allegedly walking across the road. Today, ACP Gilberto Romero, though he refused to name the driver, gave an update.
On Friday, the 15th day of November 2024, there was a fatal road traffic accident between miles 41 and 42 at Cotton Tree. Police visited the area where they saw a GMC Terrier vehicle with damages. The driver of that vehicle reported that he was driving when suddenly a male person crossed his path and he knocked on the male person. The male person was taken for treatment, where he succumbed to his injuries. He was identified as Zacharias Tesacum. An investigation is ongoing at this time. The driver was served with an NIP and samples were taken from him.
The name of the driver, sir?
The driver has not been charged, so I won't say the name.
But we usually report the names of drivers who are in accidents even if before they're charged.
And especially if they're served an NIP.
I'll get back to him.
Belize Global Media is collaborating with a Mama's Boy production to film a movie in the country. They're also on the search for Belizeans to fill acting roles in the movie and are looking for males and females of various age groups. The deadline for submission is tomorrow, November 19th. Sky Dennis, the writer and director for Mama's Boy production, explained what the movie will be about. Art Thomas, head of visual production at BGM, spoke of the movie's distribution.
It's about a woman, American woman, is currently working a dead-end job. She mysteriously inherits a house here in Belize. So, considering possibly leaving the States and coming to this country where she was also raised at as a child, it happens to coincide, during her visit. There's a hurricane coming, and then also it coincides with the release of a woman who's actually the leader of a cult here in Belize, of which her family were members of when she was a child. So as she goes out to visit the house, the remote house, the storms coming in, and then on top of that as well, some other mysterious things happen in the vicinity of the house that kind of has to deal with the cold as well.
So the film, in terms of distribution strategy, the film would have a premiere here in Belize so that the Belizean audience sees it first. And then we would push the film throughout the Caribbean and then turn it over to our distribution partners through our other person in our company, Gerald Wiggins, who handles distribution strategy. So we're looking at streaming platforms, limited theatrical possibly, and the film festival circuits to provide exposure to both the film and the country of Belize. Produced in Belize, made for the world is our sort of, as Nigel said, our motto to make that happen. The educational component and what we're trying to do is create a sustainable marketplace here so that people in Belize get an opportunity to participate in the entertainment industry while simultaneously attracting outside productions to the country of Belize so that the Belizeans can work on crews, even if it's a project that we're partially associated with, but it provides an income opportunity and working with this, exciting emerging, market industry for this country.
Nigel Petillo, CEO of BGM, said it is a great opportunity for Belizeans to get involved in the film industry and described the kind of talent they are looking for.
This is a great opportunity for our local performers to get a chance to act in a project that will be seen all over the world. This partnership came about through our desire to give opportunity to the creatives here locally in the country. So this is the first project that Belize Global Media is partnering with a Mama's Boy production, Sky Dennis's company, for us to actually shoot here in Belize. The type of actors that we are looking for, obviously, I told Sky, it's the best that we have to offer here. So anybody that's in the industry that has some type of track record from acting on stage or in in movies that have been here before, we're looking forward to having them audition. And then also, Sky has put in place some roles that maybe people that aren't real actors but have that certain look. This is an opportunity for them to get a shot at maybe fulfilling their dream.
And quick correction, we said Nigel Petillo, we meant Nigel Miguel. After the break, National Garifuna Council President settles debate on how Hudut should be prepared. Stay with us. Former Creme Radio longtime technician, radio personality, and chief engineer J.C. Arzu was among 10 outstanding Garifuna awardees selected by the National Garifuna Council Belize City Branch. Other notables on the list were outstanding former Mandela journalist and assistant editor Adele Ramos, Armin Arana, Clement Palacio, Rafael Martinez, Isani Caetano, John Palacio, Katie Nume Usher, Sharon Marin, and Sebastian Caetano. Arzu was honored for his outstanding contributions to media in Belize. JC's radio career started at NBS Radio Services in New York City. Here in Belize, he became Creme's first radio personality as it went on air. Nearing the mid-90s, JC went to study high-frequency radio broadcasting, studio, and transmission equipment in Washington, D.C. on scholarship. He would continue his studies in the early 2000s at the Specs Howard School of Broadcast Arts in Michigan. In a short biography submitted for the event, Arzu wrote, "My hobbies are few. They include advocating for Garifuna being spoken at Garinagu gatherings and institutions such as schools, businesses, village meetings, and in the future at court and government proceedings. My other interests or hobbies include amateur photography, reading science, and mathematics stories online." JC is now 63. And the Belize City branch of the National Garifuna Council is ready to bring in the 19th. In fact, activities started from today and will continue tomorrow. Melissa Zuniga, the secretary of the NGC's Belize City branch, stopped by the Zing Friends today to tell us what all is scheduled.
So we have a jam-packed cultural filled 2 days. So today, earlier today, and even going on until this afternoon, we have drumming at the Mule Park. That's in collaboration with the Belize City Council. And then this evening at the Civic Center, starting at 6 p.m., we have a cultural fair. So we'll have nice food, Garifuna cultural food. We'll have different groups. We'll have cultural music. So we'll have the Wabagari dance group. We'll have Larubaya drummers. We will have Elite Six. We will have Henry Miggs. So we have a full pack lineup, and we'll be out there until. And from there, we'll move into the Euromay tomorrow morning. So we will begin at 5:30 a.m. We will leave from the pier in front of Golden Bay. And then we will come and disembark at the Civic Center around 7 o'clock. From there, we'll process to St. Martin's de Porres Church for our Garifuna Settlement Day Mass. And from church, we go back to Civic, so we'll parade again, back to the Civic Center. We'll do our official ceremonies, and from there, we'll move into our cultural event again. We'll have some of the same groups, Wabagari dance group, Ogundani dance group will be there. We'll have Henry Miggs, Larabaya drummers, and we will also have the Elite Six group.
We also ventured out along Mahogany Street to find out what's on the menu for tomorrow. We hear from the proprietors of Arana's Kitchen and Naked Chicken.
Our preparation for our Garifuna Celebrant Day, we're going to prepare, we will be having bondiga, hodot, and sahau. In the sweet lines, we're going to have, in dessert lines, we're going to have potato pudding, cassava pudding, wangla, tableta, katabu. And we want to continue our heritage, we want to continue our language. I have my sister, Virgin Martinez and Mato Martinez. They are also the manager of the Gunani Dance Group, and then they also have a children one, and they don't want the children to forget the culture and the language.
We just want to tell you guys that, we're going to have a nice food sale tomorrow, that the time of the year we call to celebrate, and we just enjoy ourselves and bring all the cultural food, that at the time, one time of the year I take my cooking dead serious and cook it with a lot of love, so earlier we set down food for our ancestors, and they enjoy one nicely bundiga with some fried fish and cassava bread and, soft drink, and, so we got Pearl for translating a Garifuna, what I'm going to say earlier.
La miso hayado nege chef Hems le lo hayabi ega hagaya hegi lumagi Labo bani hudutu kabiamo. Bundiga.
And tapo.
Toma tapo.
Lao saho also.
Yimbo ne keke saho lu anaga. Da gaga da duad bo egine. On ha wa gubrigo, on ha la gubrigo chef Emsley, kelo leader la lio wa finire.
And with that, we have come to the end of our newscast. The repeat can be viewed on this station later tonight at 9 and again Wednesday at midday. Join us again Wednesday for another news broadcast. I'm Mose Hyde. Have a safe and enjoyable Garifuna Settlement Day.